Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on improving communications for better field service and maintenance, hosted by Copperberg. My name is Rohit Agarwal, and I'm the editorial director at Copperberg, the leading organizer of business platforms for service leaders in Europe. We organize events throughout the year on service management, spare parts, field service, IoT, e commerce, and pricing excellence. Today, I am joined by Lars Moller, General Manager of After Sales at Al Shirawi Enterprises. A recorded version of this webinar will be made available for all participants later this week. We will have a question and answer segment to conclude the webinar. Now, to begin, I would like to pass over to Lars.
Hi everyone, this is Lars Moller. As Rohit said, I'm the General Manager after sales for Al Shirawi Enterprises based in the UAE. And today's topic is to show a little bit of what we have done to improve the communications when improving our field service, as well as the maintenance agreements that we are running for some of our major customers. The system that we have created is called High Messaging, and it has been specifically made for our needs since we saw that we had certain shortcomings in the area of field service, as well as we were a bit in the dark when it came to maintenance, especially managing maintenance contracts. So this particular system is made for this kind of industry, and it's focusing mainly on messaging and communication, as well as working with integrated workflows to assist the management of our field service technicians. On this particular screen, we can see virtually everything that we didn't have when we started, and that is under the ERP tool that we earlier was running. So we did not have any proper monitoring of the tasks as well as the job cards. We couldn't capture cycle time when the people were out in the field. Same thing went for travel time as well as the repairs, etc. in the field. We didn't have any proper communication with the technicians. This could be either through text, videos, or audio chat. We couldn't send any additional information concerning new job cards, changes on the job card, etc. So all these were shortfalls that we had. At the same time, we couldn't record field data. So in this case, we were unable to get any videos, any audios, any photos with the possibility of writing or drawing sketches to show exactly what we mean. Find out the locations of either problems or where the technicians might be. We also had complaints from many customers that we didn't have any electronic field service report. They wanted to be able to sign off on a tablet and then receive the field service report straight into their inbox. Also, another main issue that we had was concerning the lifetime capturing on job cards. So we didn't know when a job started, when it finished, what the technician was up to, etc. On top of that, we couldn't track the current location, and that was also a huge issue. We could, through the system that we have developed, also see and store where the machines were at the last service. Thanks to the system, we can now look at delivery performance when it comes to providing the service that we have promised the customer. We can do follow-ups on the KPIs. We can look at the workshop total KPIs, and we also obtain information about unsold hours. All of that was impossible before. Through the system, we have also established electronic communication, so we can send out reports as well as media files. And one of the big issues that we had overall, which was probably the starting point for this particular system, was where to store all the information that we're capturing. Often we would store the photos in one file, video clips in another, reports in a third one, etc. Through the high messaging system, we can now store everything under one job card. So in case a customer asks for additional information, we find everything in one location. So going through all these shortfalls that we had together with our service team, we started designing the list of the areas and the items that we wanted the system to cover. And then through connections by our service manager, he got in contact with a developing company in India, and they helped us to develop this particular system that we now have rolled out for our case construction workshop, and we're in process of rolling it out for our field service team in our still forklift workshop as well. The main features that we have in the high messaging system, which till date have been rolled out in two phases. One of the big areas would be the task scheduler. So we can send a task to a technician. He will then confirm what he's up to. We can plan ahead of what is going to happen either today, tomorrow, next month, etc. The other main area that we have on this system is the real-time communication engine. So each technician has a tablet which is connected to a normal mobile network, and through that we can have voice over internet communication. We can take photographs, we can take video clips. This can then be sent to either a chat group or to specific individuals, and we can even get access from staff if they're back home on vacation, etc. So we're not bound geographically by people being in their office. We can communicate wherever we need to be. And in response, the technical trainers, etc., they can make drawings on images and show the technician exactly where they need to go. And therefore we can improve the precision in the work that we do out in the field. Another area is what they call the intelligent project manager, that together with the task scheduler, we're looking at various predictions. We capture certain data of the machines, and then we try to see when would, for instance, next service be due based on the operation time, the operation conditions, and other things that the technician have put in the system while visiting the machine. Thanks to this, we can then continuously improve the performance and make sure that we have tailor-made service solutions for the customers. This is the typical field service process that we run today. So the customer calls in and files a case. They try to explain the kind of problem that they have. In our current ERP system, we create a job card, and then we create all the tasks related to that job card. Those tasks are then assigned to various technicians. It could be either one guy or it could be a multiple of technicians. Each technician then accepts the task. He puts in information on the tablet that he's starting the task. He records all the data that he requires. So it could either be a field service report, it could be data files, it could be photographs, etc. And then we get the completion of the task, which means that people back in the back office can then know that the task has been done. The system will generate the necessary reports and then send it back to the ERP system so we can conclude the job card and prepare for invoicing. In the system, we have different live reports. First one is that we can see on a map on a Google map where the technicians would be. We can also register the location of the machines where they were during the last service. So it will be a lot easier to hopefully find the machines at the same location next time we go. We can see the job status for each and every technician that we have, and that is on a specific dashboard. So we can see which jobs they are working on, which are the ones that are pending, how far they have come on a particular job. So in case a customer asks when the technician is due to arrive, we will be in a position to give better information. We run a lot of KPIs for each of the technicians. We look at their productivity, we look at their efficiency, etc. We capture all the field service reports electronically, and they're all stored inside the system. And we're also working on various AI features to be able to look at what happens to the machine and when, to help us further improve on prediction on certain repairs. All the checklists are available on the system, so the technician, he doesn't need to run any paper list, etc. Everything is available and it's always up to date. And we also put in service manuals, etc. in there. And then, of course, we have all the media files, the images, the videos, the audio files, everything is on the system. In here, the center point for the system is the task scheduler. And in this case, it works with the, all the inputs are happening in real time. We have given certain inputs, rules and regulations that the system is working accordingly. The other one, as mentioned before, is the real-time communication module, which enables us to have communication also with the operator. So we can send invitations to either operators or to external technicians if required, so they can get on board and be part of the communication as well. The technician is there, of course. We can put in other people like spare parts department, technical trainers, etc. All this through the task scheduler is then helping us with prediction and what further improvements that we can do for future services. And as outputs, we get various reports that will help us in future decisions. The main benefits using this high messaging system is, of course, the live communication updates. We get very accurate and precise delivery status. We get all the information about each task that was handled, and all the information is collected in one specific spot, so we don't need to chase around it. We get real-time capture of all the necessary data and locations. And as a result, we can help customer improve their profitability, as well as we, of course, can utilize our technicians in a better way and therefore improve our business and our profitability. The second module that we have added to the high messaging system after the field service section is the preventive maintenance solution. We are increasing the number of maintenance agreements, and to run them manually is very, very tedious, and is also creates major risk that we're going to miss any services or any information that is important. So in this solution, the workflow is seen here on this screen, where we start creating a maintenance agreement. And in this case, we would post on the system the expected intervals. So let's say a visit every month, and that is then scheduled into the system. So next month, there should, let's say, be a visit. And then at a certain time, the system will then give a pop-up to the service supervisor that he should start sending out alerts to the customers that we expect his machine to be due for service. and then we can more proactively chase the customers and make sure that the services are done on time. In case we need to adjust the visit, then we do that on the system. So either we prepone the visit if the customer have worked more hours than previously thought, or postpone it, maybe update certain additional things that needs to be done on the machine, etc. We then create the job card with all the tasks for the required service type, and then we assign a check sheet that goes together with the job card for this specific machine. The service technician, he will do what is stated on the job card, and then update the check sheet, etc., before he completes the job card. Once the task has been completed, it's been sent back to main office, and then we generate the necessary reports and we start preparing for invoicing. So the main features that we have on this particular system, or this module for the preventive maintenance agreements, is first of all the automated alerts. So we can, in this case, connect the customers as well as the technicians, so they receive alerts and reminders instantly on which machine is due. We have, as we do on the field service module, with the integrated instant messaging, so we can send in pictures, voice information, etc., concerning things that we find on the machine, or things that the customer may have found before we join in to start doing the job. The system also covers the calendar-based scheduler. So in this case, we can look at either by time, we can look at it by machine type, we can look by technician, or we can look at geographical region. So let's say that next week we're going to do certain jobs up in the north, in, let's say, Ras Al Khaimah. Then we can look at how many other machines are scheduled in Ras Al Khaimah within a certain given time, and then we try to schedule as many job cards as we possibly can in the same region the same day, so the technician doesn't have to go back and forth. So that is quite a good instrument. The system then contains all the dashboards and reports, etc., that we can present all the information and what has happened with the service agreement, what kind of revenues we have, and other important parameters, just to measure the performance of these agreements that we have signed. So the capabilities that this module has, first of all, we have the list of machines that are due for service. We can capture all the associated labor. One of the KPIs that we run is how many extra labor hours we have sold per service. So through this system, we can capture that. We can do projections of what is going to happen in the future. Also, when it comes to number of hours that we pre-schedule per technician. So we can see workloads and therefore help us to promise or see what is available for us to promise to other customers, since we will know already from day one how many hours we expect each technician to be using on the respective contract. By having a proper follow-up, we will ensure that the customer can lower the maintenance cost as well as repair costs. And the repair side is mainly by improving the maintenance, which often leads to the possibility of avoiding any repairs, or certain type of repairs at least. We reduce the downtime for the customer as well by both faster response, but also by detecting problems earlier, so we can do planned repairs rather than breakdown repairs. As a result, with improved maintenance, the system helps to maximize the equipment useful life, and therefore what we call total profit of ownership. For our side, this helps to improve the availability of labor. since we can plan better and make sure that we can spend more time doing useful tasks rather than traveling back and forth. It improves our planning. And by improved planning, we can then also schedule together with our parts department the availability of spare parts. And we can also optimize the delivery schedules. And we have lots of customization that is possible, various dashboards and reports, etc., just to make sure that we get the information that we require, or if we sell the system to someone else, that they can get the information that is tailor-made for them. That is all that we had concerning the high messaging for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any further questions, you can let me know. So thank you.
Thank you, Lars, for enlightening us about the high messaging system. It is really interesting to see the internal development. So I have a few questions about this. As you said, like before the high messaging system, you did not have one particular platform to capture all of the information.
That's
Okay, how would you compare the tasks and schedulings before to having it after the high messaging system?
before everything was done manually. So it would be either on notepads, Excel sheets, etc. The information was not readily available, and everything became more or less a happening, which also led to every morning when the guys were going out, there was nothing prepared parts-wise. We didn't prepare the tools for the technicians, so the first hour or two every morning, they need to spend chasing spare parts, etc., before they could go out. Now we can do that the day before, so everything is ready, and the guy can leave much earlier in the morning and not waste a lot of useful time.
Okay, that's interesting. And how would you say this platform helped you improve your customers' satisfaction?
In many ways, one was we could give more accurate information to the customer when the technicians were coming. We can offer the possibility to the customer to be online, so they can see the development, they can see where the technician would be. Also, by making sure that we do the proper alerts, etc., we make sure that the machines are scheduled for maintenance on time, and therefore we can avoid a lot of downtime because of improper maintenance done on the machine, and all that helps the customer to improve their profit of ownership.
Okay. Yeah, if I were to follow up on this question, were there any alternate projects in the development funnel at the same time as the high messaging platform, and why did you go for this platform instead of other projects?
I looked around visiting some of the Copperberg conferences, especially on the field service and the service ones. There were quite a few different softwares available. A lot of them required customization for our specific needs. So in this case, we wanted something that was suitable for our specific needs, and that was built up from scratch. And through the agreement we had with this developer in India, we managed to get a very cost-effective solution that met all of our requirements.
Okay, that's very interesting. Like, if you were to give some advice to other field service and after sales directors about implementing an internal system, what would be your advice?
Our experience has been very positive. It may be that some other companies may not have the time, the resources, or they may find a solution that is very suitable to their demands. In our case, we didn't have the luxury of finding a solution that we felt met all the requirements. It was a lot of work involved by our team, We had to be prepared for that. Took some months to get the project up and running, but in the end, I would say it was time and efforts well spent. So if I was asked whether we would do it again, my answer would be definitely yes.
Okay. One of the main questions that always comes up with new digital challenges is there the return on investment of such projects? So, what is your take on that?
In this case, we got a very special deal on the development side, and then we pay only a monthly subscription, which is a very nominal fee. So I would say within less than 6 months, we have paid off the investment that we have made. So as we speak, since this system has been up and running for the first workshop for about 6 months, we've already paid off the investment.
Okay, that's very interesting. I have just two more questions for you. So, what would you say about the stage of like you said, you're using AI in the intelligent project manager system.
Yeah.
So, any particular benefits that you have already noticed of having the AI system, or any challenges that you're facing in that?
The we are preparing for the next phase, and then we work together with our own IT department using a software called Splunk, which is a system where we want to detect and predict the need for a particular item to be replaced. So far, we've been focusing mainly on maintenance, and maintenance, by definition, is relatively predictable. The issues comes on items that needs to be replaced, and especially items that don't give indication that they're about to fail. That could be switches, sensors, and that kind of stuff. They either work or they don't work. And the idea now is to look at, or we've already started a project where we look at the information we capture through high messaging, upload it into this Splunk module, and then let the system give us predictability on after how many how many operation hours a particular item needs to be replaced. And then we try to add other information such as operational circumstances, etc., etc. And that is then served as a tool both to help our inventory department as well as planning for service and repairs. So that's where we see a very, very good use in the future for AI. We do, however, have to be aware that especially in the beginning, that the accuracy of this may not be 100%. But even a 30–40% accuracy in the beginning is of great help. Can also help us to make sure that the technician, when they go out on a job, they carry the right spare parts with them for a particular repair. Because a part of the project is also to link a particular fault code or a particular complaint towards a list of parts that were used to fix it. So we see in this particular field predictability, AI as a very, very good tool.
Okay, that is very interesting, Lars. And my last question to you is, you said you could use the tool for seeing the various KPIs for the technicians,
Yes.
like where they are or how much time they took for a service. Um, so my question is, using these KPIs, have you been able to develop the competence of the technicians?
Yes, absolutely. In this particular case, we look at from two angles. One is if we see a trend with a particular job that it takes too long time to do, then we go through that with our technical trainer. We look at the tooling, we look at the repair methods, etc., that we use for that particular job. Or if we see a trend with a particular technician, then we can go in and tailor make a particular training schedule for that particular person. We spend a lot of time every week on training. Each technician receives about 2 hours of training per week, just to make sure that we develop them further and improve their diagnostic skills as well as the repair skills.
Okay, that is very interesting, Lars. That was all the questions from my side. Thank you for being part of the webinar today and telling us about the internal development of the high messaging system and how it has improved your field services.
Thank you. Most welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us in today's webinar on improving communications for better field service and maintenance. Lars will be joining us at the annual Field Service Forum on the 4th and 5th of June as a panelist in Amsterdam for the topic Exploring the Age of Convergence, Machine Data and Instant Customer Satisfaction. To find out more, please visit the website and download the agenda. A recorded version of this webinar will be made available to you later this week. Thank you.